What are some of the things you looked for in that first hire? Because I remember us going through that hiring process, right? What are some things that, some of the traits, some of the things that you looked for in that first hire? Because it was a bit different to usually what I recommend, right? Because you were already experienced, right, with media binds, and so you were looking for a different type of person. Not so much. It wasn't so much the experience, right? But it was more about the hunger and the kind of the person that they could shape up to be. Can you walk us through some of the traits that you looked for in that first ever hire for your agency?
Yeah, so the guy I hired when I was with you, right? So this guy, he actually reached out to him on LinkedIn, and he happened to live in Holland. So he was like,
Okay.
hey, let's meet up, And at that point I didn't think of him as a very experienced. So I was like kind of disregarding that. I'm like, okay, well, if he's not that experienced, he's not going to be much of a value to the agency. But he was just pushing to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this guy's actually serious about this, Like he's showing me this intent of, hey, look, I'm serious. I'm willing to meet up in person, like travel from whatever city he was at to meet me, hang out with me. And that's what he did. And we hung out, and I was like, okay, wow, this guy, maybe he's not the most experienced guy, but he's definitely hungry to learn. And I remember I was talking to you, and we were like in between. I think it was another candidate, and it was one of them was way more experienced, but seemed to be more, I don't know, less hungry, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was more hungry but less experienced. And I think at one point I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna go for this. The guy was more hungry, and honestly, he was the best media buyer I ever worked with, because he was just proactive about everything, putting in that extra work. I never needed to worry about anything because he would handle it. And he also learned a lot, like while working with me. And since I already knew a little bit of Facebook ads, I could guide him as well, and we could strategize together. And honestly, I didn't need to worry that much about the results either. So traits wise, yeah, someone that's, hungry, willing to grow, and you also need to provide them the opportunity to grow as well.
I always see that with very hungry people though. Like they learn quick, right? They grow very quickly. I mean, you were saying like what was kind of the environment that you provided for this person to be able to grow?
Yeah. So first of all, freedom to kind of do their own thing. So I didn't want to micromanage. I didn't want to tell them how to run Facebook ads. I tried to, it was like a challenge for myself to be more open-minded towards that as well, because I had a certain way of running ads. He has a certain way of running ads. So it's like, like I said, you have to let that go, and providing them the opportunity to kind of experiment as well and make that okay. And another thing is, if he fails or he makes mistakes or something, then also accept that, and not bash him for it, or make him feel bad about it. Because I always told him, like, this is part of the experience. If you make a mistake, it's cool, just let me know, and we'll like diagnose it together, and we'll solve it together, and it's part of learning. And I think he really appreciated that. So giving him that freedom to really excel, develop. Yeah, and I think every person is different, but he was definitely like that, and I'm like that as well. You throw me in the deep end, I'll figure it out somehow. Some people need more guidance, some people need less guidance, so it's also like a judgment call there, kind of a gut feeling as well, like how much responsibility can this person take. But he definitely took all the responsibility he could, and he was also pushing me to give him more and more responsibility as well. He's like, oh, I want to like jump on calls with clients, like I want to do this, I want to do that, and I would let him do it. And it was nice to see him grow like that.
That's amazing. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, I feel like the hiring process is such a neglected part, because this person can literally, like, I mean, they're not going to make or break your business, but it's going to be, if you hire the right person, it's going to be an incredible addition.